This is Heart of Fury, Book 2 of Gabriel's series in the Vampire Royals of New York world. Written by Sarah Piper. Narrated by Shane East and Vanessa Edwin. Chapter 1. The child stood behind the bar, no more than 5 years of age, still and grey as a stone. Blood had long ago soiled her dress, and her hair hung in limp locks to her waist, hopelessly matted. She smelled of the old forests of home, damp and heavy with decay. Gabriel hadn't seen her in nearly 40 years, not since the night he'd marked 10 years in Sin City. 10 years since his brother Dorian had nearly decapitated him, and he'd walked out of Ravenswood without a backward glance. That night, her dark eyes seemed to hold a particularly urgent warning, though he couldn't have said what it was. Any number of his choices deserved judgment, scorn. His first decade out west had passed in a blur of gambling, booze, drugs, women blood slaves, all part of the epic building of his empire, and the search for that elusive something that left his eldest brother unrecognizable. Obsession. If Gabriel could find it, he'd reasoned back then, if he could lose himself so completely in the madness of some insatiable desire, perhaps he'd also find confirmation that he wasn't so cold and broken after all, that a heart could still beat passionately in a chest that had long ago been excavated, even if it beat for something destructive. But all Las Vegas had offered Gabriel was a constant ache for home, a fathomless hunger that made him dizzy on the best of days, and a mountain of sin he could never hope to scale, only to profit from, immensely. And of course, there was the child. He'd been alone in one of his clubs that night too, the last he'd seen her, and drunk, and no closer to unfucking his life than he was now. More than 2,000 miles, 4 decades, and hundreds of terrible decisions later. Why the hell she'd chosen today to reappear, Gabriel knew not, cared not. "I can't help you," he told her, as he always did. And she lingered, saying nothing, as she always did. Never speaking, never moving, never aging, merely watching him with haunted, empty eyes as bottomless as they'd been the morning she'd knelt beside her mother's corpse in the woods and shook the woman as if the force of her tiny fists had the power to awaken the dead. Gabriel downed another shot of bourbon, dragged the back of his hand across his mouth. "Take your revenge, girl, or leave me to plotting mine."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?